Hello, I'm Corey, and I'm an arena junkie. We're going to draft a new deck today. Our choice is going to be between a druid, rogue, and a paladin. I haven't got to play paladin yet, and we lose a lot to paladins, so we're going to try it out. I'm going to put a little thing in the corner here to skip the draft if you would like I've been doing on the other draft videos. We've got Master Swordsmith, Crazy Alchemist, Ezra Drake. The Swordsmith is actually a pretty good card, I think, for paladin. Crazy Alchemist is pretty sketchy. I feel like I get a lot of strength out of the Ezra Drake, and there's actually a decent amount of spell power stuff that Paladin has. Not a ton, but that time with a Consecrate or even a Hammer of Wrath can take out some of the stronger minions, and it's a pretty good minion in its own right, plus the card draw is nice. So the other problem with Master Swordsmith is he does nothing if you have no other minions. Holy Light, Earthen Ring, Farseer, Worgen Infiltrator. Great one-drop. And I'm not a huge fan of restore health type stuff, because if you play it and you're doing it right, you haven't taken that much damage. Granted, paladins are good about coming back in this way, and it can be really annoying, but you still need your burning cards to keep yourself alive. So I'm going to focus on minions first. Stone Tusk Boar, Loot Hoarder, Dalaran Mage. Again, I like the Loot Hoarder. The Death Rattle almost guarantees you always get a card back from it, or they burn a silence on it, which is a stupid idea on their part. The only issue I have with it is that it's easy to deal with hero powers, but you still get a card from it, and hopefully everyone other than a mage will take damage from it. So we're going to go with the Loot Hoarder. Ancient Brewmaster, Consecration, True Silver Champion. Really, the choice here is between True Silver Champion and Consecration. Both are basic cards, so I would expect I should get plenty of them. With what we have right now, though, I'm actually going to go with the True Silver Champion. Murloc Tidehunter, Humility, Mugushan Warden. I don't like Mugushan normally, but in a Paladin deck he can be pretty frustrating. Throw this down and throw a Blessing of Might or something on it, and suddenly you've got a 5-cost minion that was 4/7. Susceptible to silence, buffing it makes it more so because the taunt. Murloc Tidehunter, decent card. Humility is so annoying to deal with, and I almost feel like we have to take it here. Lord of the Arena, Raging Worgen, Corehound. I don't like the Corehound, even in a buffing deck like you can get with Paladin, and we haven't been getting very many, so I'm not going to rely on that. The Worgen is usually pretty good value. Oracle is junk. Corehound is not great. Kobold Geomancer is okay. He's not great if I can use him. I don't have any spells yet, and so I'm starting to... Well, the Ezra Drake is still good even without the spell damage. The Kobold Geomancer, not so much. Corehound represents some late-game hitting ability, but it almost always gets removed off the field after you've played it. So I think, given the choice, we'll get the Corehound. If nothing else, it's a 7 damage... I hate the Corehound. It's so easy to get rid of, and people always do. So even though that was probably the better choice, I'm not going to go with it. Worgen Infiltrator, Torn Warrior, Redemption. Redemption's a fun one, and works really well with situations like the Corehound I just passed up on twice. Torn Warrior, I actually like the Almani Berserker a lot better than this, but it's a acceptable taunt unless they just throw a 3-drop at it on turn 3, like most are, and just outright kill it. Having a second Infiltrator, better chance of us getting it, but I feel like it's weaker in the long run. We are almost certainly going to get some heavy droppers to help us use up this redemption in a good way. So I think I'm actually going to get it. Raid Leader, Darkscale Healer, Jungle Panther. The Darkscale Healer isn't great. I'd honestly rather a Yeti, but one more mana for that battle cry, there's not a whole lot that's going to help with unless I have lots of high health minions on the field. And in fact, it can actually screw up my Raging Worgen. Jungle Panther is almost great. It is almost always good. It almost always trades up. The Raid Leader, on the other hand, buffs a bunch of little minions, and with our hero power, we're likely to get those. But it's also a bit of a bullet magnet. I don't really have anything right now that can take out some of those scarier 4 damage minions, so we're going to grab the Panther. Emperor Cobra, Argent Commander, Defender of Argus. Emperor Cobra is normally pretty good, um, but Argent Commander and Defender of Argus are much better. The Argent Commander is almost always good, and almost always 2-for-1s with the Charging Divine Shield. Defender of Argus actually just got nerfed in this last patch that just came out yesterday, I think. It used to be a 3/3. It's now a 2/3, but it still gives +1 to adjacent minions and gives them taunt, which is awesome. Between these two, I'm actually a little bit torn. We just picked up the Jungle Panther to give us some removal, so we're actually going to grab the Defender. Dark Iron Dwarf, Consecration, Murloc Raider. The Raider's worthless. It's really a choice between Dark Iron Dwarf and Consecration. The Dark Iron Dwarf is good. His battle cry was changed here again in this last patch to, instead of being a permanent +2, it's now just a temporary +2 on that turn, more like the Abusive Sergeant. That being so, because of if you have another minion that can attack that turn, that can use it well, pretty good. Otherwise, it's a 4-cost 4/4, not so good. We don't have any AoE removal yet. I like Consecration, so I'm gonna get it. We may get a Dark Iron later. Acolyte of Pain, Acidic Swamp Boost, Mad Bomber. I hate the Mad Bomber. He always screws me. Acolyte of Pain, I really have no way to trigger him, otherwise it'd be pretty nice card draw. The Acidic Swamp Ooze is probably going to be useful against most things, and it represents a good 2-drop, which I don't want to stack up on too much. Aha! Bloodsail Raider, this could be a fun one. We only have one True Silver Champion, but if I have it, that's going to make that thing into a 6/3. The Ventrico Mercenary, on the other hand, can really screw up the flow for them, because it's a really scary turn 5 card. Frostwolf Warlord, on the other hand, has the potential to be a lot scarier than even the Ventrico Mercenary, but it's susceptible to silence pretty badly. In this situation, I think we do have a lot of minions, so I wouldn't want the Ventrico to stay alive too long, but I don't think it would. So I think we're actually going to go with the Ventrico. Young Dragonhawk, Silverhand Knight, Mad Bomber, no choice. Abomination, Stampeding Kodo, Bloodsail, Corsair. The Corsair is not useful. It's not useful enough in Arena. Abomination can be useful. We are lacking Taunt right now. We don't have anything other than our Defender of Argus. So having something with Taunt's pretty nice. Its Death Rattle can be a bit of a problem, though. Primarily because we have lots of minions with less than 2 health. We don't have a lot of really strong minions. Alternatively, Stampeding Kodo is a pretty good card if your opponent has anything out that you get the battle cry on. It's pretty nice. They really want me to take the frickin' Mad Bomber. Blessing of Kings, True Silver Champion. Again, I would love to keep that True Silver Champion, get a second one. It helps me with some removal. Blessing of Kings, though, can just totally screw up an opponent. It turns even your lowliest tiny little minion into something that's very dangerous and suddenly has to be dealt with. And as a paladin, you almost always will have a target to use it on. Couple this with the Raging Worgen for some just absolutely absurd plays. We're going to get it. Shadowed Sun Cleric, Earthring Farseer, Noble Sacrifice. Great secret, only because other than a hunter, how do you deal with it? You have to throw a minion at it. Early game, this can be pretty good. And by early, I mean like turn 3, turn 4. Shadowed Sun Cleric, though, is such a solid card. I hate to give up a good 3-drop. What do we have right now? We have a Jungle Panther, a Raging Worgen, and nothing else. It's not that good on turn 3 unless you have something else on the field, but even this on top of, say, a Worgen Infiltrator or the Loot Hoarder lets it trade more favorably and possibly keep it alive. Alternatively, the Noble Sacrifice is pretty nice to have in a pinch. But I think in this case we're going to go with the Shattered Sun Cleric. Frostwolf Warlord, Magma Rager, Mogashon Warden. Magma Rager is worthless. I hate that card. It just dies so easily. No one in their right mind keeps that thing alive. So even by the time you could drop it and buff it, it's not going to stay alive. Best you could do is maybe get a Paladin deck by throwing a Hand of Protection on it, but even then, people are going to just throw themselves at this thing to kill it. Frostwolf Warlord, though, could synergize well with this deck. Mogashon Warden, it's sketchy. We do need the taunt, but we need something that's actually going to hit back. And right now, the Mogashon Warden represents not a great option for doing that. It's also a 4-cost which competes with a lot of very solid paladin cards. I think we're going to take a chance on the Warlord. Lord of the Arena, Gnomish Inventor, Silverhand Knight. These are all pretty solid choices. The Silverhand Knight's great value. Gnomish Inventor, we desperately need card draw right now. And we do need taunt, so Lord of the Arena wouldn't be a bad choice. We also have no 6-drops. Paladin's one of those classes that has a higher end mana curve, and so we want to start building towards that. I think we are probably likely to get more card draw in the form of other cards, but this is a pretty solid taunt. It's not as good as Tezdingo, but it hits back pretty good. So we're going to get the Lord of the Arena. Argent Commander, Holy Wrath, Demolisher. I like the Demolisher a lot. Argent Commander is a solid card, but I really, really like the Demolisher. It helps keep an opponent's board clear, and with 4 health, that thing's annoying to get rid of. Unless they have board control when you play it. You play that when you have board control to help stagnate theirs. Holy Wrath, I don't like. Consider in this current deck we only have a 1 out of 4 chance right now with 20 cards of this really paying for itself. Not worth it, in my opinion. You don't even know if it'll kill the thing you're trying to target. I think it's really between the Commander and the Demolisher. And as much as I want another 3-drop like a Demolisher, I feel like we need that instant removal from the Commander. Blessing of Wisdom, Light's Justice, Humility. We already have a Humility. Having 2 is insult to injury. I like having it on my sleeve for when he plays some kind of horrible, scary, terrible creature, and I can really just nullify it. That or a really big taunt. Light's Justice is a weak weapon. I don't really like it, other than buffing it through like some silliness with Spiteful Smith or something. I just don't see the value in it. Blessing of Wisdom, though, that's our card draw. We throw that on really anything that can attack, and suddenly it becomes a bullet magnet. Redemption, Wisp, Repentance. Well, I guess it's a secret choice. Repentance is good. They don't necessarily know what's going to happen. Redemption, having a second one, may not be a bad thing. Again, it can really screw up their idea of what board control is going to happen, but it only returns something back to help with 1 HP. This, on the other hand, makes it very easy to get rid of even the most powerful of minions that they're going to throw out at me. The only problem is, anytime you play a secret, they're going to test the waters a little bit, probably throw out a little minion first, if they have it. It's a hard choice. We already have a Redemption. We really don't have any, well, we have Consecration, but we wouldn't want to waste that. I think in this situation we do get the Repentance. Cobalt Geomancer, Stranglesword Tiger, Gorobashi Berserker. I normally am a huge fan of the Berserker, but he's a little susceptible, and we still need some good punch, so I'm actually going to go with the Tiger. Mana Addict, Eldor Peacekeeper, Lightburn. I love this card, and I hate to play against it. We don't have very many spells, so the Mana Addict is worthless. We don't really have any heals, so Lightburn is worthless. Peacekeeper's an easy choice. Wolf Rider, Worgen, Redemption. We're getting another choice at a second Redemption, but I feel like having a second Worgen wouldn't be bad here. The Wolf Rider, I value it, but I don't value it as much as the Worgen. I think the Worgen has better value, especially because the turn after I get access to True Silver as well as some other removal abilities that I would use the Wolf Rider to do. And 3 damage just isn't that great for removal most of the time. Especially if you're playing it defensively in response to a taunt they threw out and they went first. So we're going to get another Worgen. This is the Worgen deck. Worgen Infiltrator, Fin Creeper, Guardian of Kings. Good taunt. We do still actually need taunt options, especially even on turn 5. Guardian of Kings is such a solid card, though. I hate playing against this thing because it's hard to get rid of even late game without just instant removal. The added 6 health that you get back from it is just bonus. Bloodsail Raider, Stone Tusk Boar, Iron Beak Owl. None of these are fantastic choices. I suppose I could get the Bloodsail Raider in the event that I get the one weapon in my deck that makes it worthwhile. The Owl I typically don't like, but it's a cheap silence that we don't have in this deck. So we'll get the Owl. I'm not terribly happy about that choice, especially because I just got offered a Spellbreaker, which is a much better silence. Redemption, Silverhand Knight are our other choices. Silverhand Knight, again, solid card. I almost wouldn't mind having a second one, but I think Spellbreaker is better value for what we need, which is having an additional silence. There's a non-Monty Berserker, but Blessing of Might makes it a hard choice. The Silver Moon Guardian, I actually would not typically lean towards. The Berserker, I would. What do we have for 2-drops? We've got an Acidic Swamp Ooze. The Owl's not really a 2-drop. So we've got, I mean, it is, but I wouldn't be playing it on turn 2 unless I was desperate. So we've got Ooze, Geomancer, Loot Hoarder, and that's it. Having the Berserker wouldn't be bad. Blessing of Might lets us use possibly one of our little 1/1s as some hard removal and trade pretty well for it. Burns 1 card and 2 mana. The Berserker has potential for very, very good coin turn 1 plays. Because again, 2/3, challenging to get rid of, challenging to do enough damage to kill it without Berserkering it, which buffs it up to a 5/2 at minimum. Oh, I think we go with Berserker. And then finally, Ravenhold Assassin, Argent Commander, Bloodsail Corsair. So, Argent Commander or Ravenhold Assassin. We do only have 1/7, so having the Assassin there isn't bad. Having another Argent Commander, though, gives us some more options for that removal that we would like to have, especially since we don't have a lot of taunt in this deck. We're gonna be kind of at their mercy, our opponent's mercy, on keeping them from staying behind a taunt wall, and that's going to be very tricky. So Argent Commander gives us an option to deal with it immediately, but Ravenhold Assassin has a much better chance of trading up, and we only have 1/7 drop, so we're going to get that. That's our deck. I don't play Paladin often, and based on how I play against other Paladins, I'm not terribly happy with this as a draft. We didn't get very many duplicate cards. We got offered very few duplicate cards, and we didn't get offered many of the core cards that I would like to see out of a Paladin deck. We really only had 2 chances at a True Silver Champion, and one of those was paired up against a Consecration. Our other pairing up of Consecration was, actually, I think both cases I was Consecration or True Silver Champion, which is not ideal. So, I don't know. I'm not terribly thrilled with the idea of this deck just yet. I'm not sold on it. And we've got a Rogue. Well, Blessing of Wisdom would be nice to hold on to early on for card draw. I would have to play a minion that has more than 1 health for sure. Probably more than 3 health to be safe to prevent the Rogue from just killing the thing. We're going to get rid of actually all of this. I think we are going to hold on to the Blessing of Wisdom though and see what options we have to play it on. Card draw is going to be our enemy in this game. We do have a chance for a turn 1 Amani Berserker play. That's good. It depends on what he plays. And we're going second against a Rogue, which is fantastic. I love going second against a Rogue. And we are going to actually burn that Berserker. Because it's a solid turn 1 play. I don't know how he will deal with it. He may just weapon up and just sit there. I don't know. But I definitely want to keep that thing around. Yeah. And you won't hit it, you'll just sit on your weapon. Good. Now this could be very funny. We could Blessing of Wisdom that thing, and put out a Redemption so that when he dies, he'll come back and he'll be instantly enraged. Which I kind of like the idea of, just because it's terrifying for him. But I think it may be better to hold on to this when we have a stronger minion. We only have one of these in our deck after all, and I want to use that when I have a strong option on the field. I could also put down the Loot Hoarder, which will instantly die, but it'll keep him off my Berserker. And the next turn, I can use my mana a little bit more efficiently. Because if I use my Blessing of Wisdom, my only option is to play Redemption, and I'd rather not do that right now. I'd rather hold on to the Redemption, like I said, when I have some more valuable minions on the field. Really, even throwing him out there, if he doesn't kill off the Loot Hoarder, which he's going to, so it's a pointless discussion. Getting him back at 1 HP would be great, because it'd get me another card. It would trigger the Death Rattle and come back. That's a solid play against what I have. I think it's probably more prudent. Actually, are you by spells or hero powers? Battle Cries aren't hero powers. And they're not spells. So I think I can play that. Do I want to save that for something else, or do I want to keep this Berserker around? That's a good question. Now, I don't want to use Redemption here, because if he does wind up killing the Berserker, it'll come back at 1, and then he'll punch it. He'd take 5 damage to do it, but I think he'd do it. I also don't want a Blessing of Wisdom that just yet.
Let me think.
Can... Oh, I'm going to be so upset if this doesn't actually work. Well, I'm learning. Aha! Perfect. I wonder how he'll deal with this, because now the Armani's very scary. That actually turned out a lot better than I thought it would. Wasn't even thinking about the fact that I would do it that way, to be perfectly honest, but it worked out really well. And leaves him with not a great option, in my opinion. Aha! That's a good option. Still, the Armani traded up really, really well there. That's an interesting choice on your part. Do you have something else to... No. I thought for sure you would have done it a different way. But okay. I mean, that's fine. It's an interesting decision, but... How do I want to do this now? I could put out the Worgen, in which case I could Blessing of Wisdom the Berserker. If I do that, though, what do I have to protect the Worgen? Really nothing, but he'll take 5 damage to the face, and I'll force him to kill the Berserker. Alternatively, I could put out Redemption, play the Worgen, make him think it's a noble sacrifice. I actually kind of like this idea. I wonder if I can play with his head a little bit. We're going to put out the Worgen, and we're going to play Redemption. And we're going to make him think that it is a noble sacrifice. And we'll see if he throws his Stormwind Champion at either of these, because he might think it's a noble sacrifice and want to protect himself from it. And he may not want to lose his 4-cost minion to a secret. A 1-cost secret. It'd be interesting if he thinks that's what it is. And if it's not, and he chooses to kill my Berserker will come back. And actually, either one of those coming back at 1 HP is awesome for me if he can't kill both. Which he could. So how's he going to do this? He is going to Deadly Poison. Okay. With 2 mana, can he kill both? I don't know. And see, he wants to play this smart. He doesn't want to waste his Deadly Poison on... What if it's a... I mean, it's not a noble sacrifice. But it is... something else. And now it's enraged. No! Damn it! You jerk! Oh, betrayal. You cruel bastard. Alright. Well, that's okay. We will go ahead and put out the Tiger. We made him burn a lot of cards to do that. And it was a pretty scary combo in his defense. I mean, he had to take 3 damage to the face. He's down to 15, which isn't bad for turn 6. I want to make sure that he doesn't accelerate at all here. Oh no! Leave it alone! Oh, darn it. If he has Fan of Knives, that thing's dead now. That'd be very disappointing. Because it might be dead. Oh, damn it. Swamp Ooze. Okay. I prefer it to be out now rather than when you have something else. I am going to hold on to that Humility because I don't want to use it just yet. I'd also prefer not to put out the Kodo, but I need something a little stronger. And if I attack with... I could actually Blessing Wisdom one of his creatures. And he would have to make the choice of giving me a card every time that he attacks. If I do that, how is he going to play this? How is he going to play this? If I put out a Worgen, he'll kill it. So that's a bad option. If I put out the Kodo, I can Blessing Wisdom one of his creatures, or I could Humility it. But if I put out the Kodo, I'm well, he can kill it if I do that. He would sack a creature and attack me, and he would kill it.
Let me think.
But not if I humiliated one of his things. But I'd rather save humility. Damn it. Not any really great options here. We're gonna do this. We are gonna go ahead and kill one of his minions. And I'm actually gonna do this. I think this works. It may draw him cards. I don't actually know. But I think the way it works is whenever a minion attacks, I draw cards. So he'd have to, at once... Oh, good card! That gives me a card. But now he'll kill my Kodo. Definitely the... Boy, I'd like a Consecration right now. But I am going to go ahead and humility that thing. No Consecration, huh? That's disappointing. So how do I want to do this? I could Spellbreaker it. And then I could... I can't Defender of Argus this turn. I could Spellbreaker, which takes it down to a 2/3. And then I could Raging Worgen. I don't want that Patient Assassin to stick around. And I'd rather save humility again for something where I absolutely need it. So I think we are going to silence you. And then really the question is, do I put out the Kobold or do I put out the Worgen? I really would prefer not to. I don't want to give him a trade is the thing. He could positively trade the Assassin for... Yeah, I need to make it a hard choice for him. Because that way, no matter what, he has to trade around unless he has some direct removal in his hand, which, being a rogue, he easily could. He easily could. Those will die. I don't think there's any chance of me avoiding that. Okay. Okay, that makes sense. And then, yeah, that also makes sense. That trades up, which sucks. Yep, there's the acceleration. Okay. This is the only real chance I have. I have to start doing massive damage to him at this point. When you're playing some minion. That's not a bad option. I think we're gonna do this, that. I could buff those up a little bit. It's not a great option, but it gives me something. And he'd have to deal with it. It makes it, what, a 3/3 and a 2/2? God, it just feels like there's better options I can do there. I think what we want to do here actually is...
Let me think.
What can he do to get rid of this? He can attack that to the face. He takes the damage. He could Phantom Knives. That would kill that, but not if I buff it. What else could he do? He could Spell Power, Phantom Knives... I think this is actually better. Get some board presence back. I think getting some board presence is important here. I'm not worried about my health, but I am worried about the fact that he has several options now in the forms of cards. And with 9 health, I have to put the pressure on him, or else... Well, I have to put the pressure on him, or else he's going to be able to come back from this. Oh boy. So what are you going to do? What options do you have? You could Assassinate, although it would feel like a waste on such little creatures. You could... Oh, I think I hit something. You could punch one of them in the face, but then you can't remove it, which is helpful for me. I think you're weighing your options here. I don't know what you're going to do. Mountain Giant. Mountain Giant's a good card. I mean, I am going to Humility it, but it's a good card. I don't think he can give it Taunt without a Sun Fury Protector at this point. Which, if he can, that's good for him. I mean, that keeps him alive. If he can't, I'm pretty solid on this.
So many options.
Because right now we've got 7 on the board, which takes him down to 2.
Go ahead.
That's a good card. Oh, okay. You're not going to give me the option. You are going to straight up attack him. Okay. Good. Well, if I have a Consecration here, I win. not quite, but still a good card. Now, you will not be able to... Yeah, you won't be able to Patient Assassin him. So, I'm going to do this. That makes that worthless. And then we're going to... We're going to put out... Do I really want to do this? It's not good value for my HP, but I think it's better value than I need. So we're going to put him out. And we're going to hit you. And we are going to actually play Repentance. Now, he may think this is a Noble Defender, but he doesn't have a choice here. He has 2 HP. I don't know. I feel like it's in his best interest. At this point, I feel like he ought to just concede. But he can get through the taunt by attacking with his assassin, but then he can't do anything else. And he could face check it, but then he takes the damage and he's dead. So he can't use his Mountain Giant effectively at this point. If he silences his own Mountain Giant, then he can. And he can put a hurt on me. Okay. Now, that didn't work as well as I had hoped, but oh well. He had a little creature he could play, and now it'll get buffed. Okay. Yeah. And then another Fan of Knives, okay. And then you're going to Patient Assassin him. Yep. And then you're going to attack him, okay. Come on, True Silver Champion. That'll work. GG.
Well played. Victory.
Time for a hunter who is going to rush me down far better than I can rush him down. Oh boy, we get rid of the Warlord. That's not useful. We keep the Worgen. I think that could still be a useful card. We keep the Swamp. We keep the Swamp Ooze. We'll hang on to the Ooze. I don't expect him. Ugh, that's not good. I don't expect him to have a weapon early on at all, but Ooze is good value. It's a solid card. It's a Bloodfin Raptor with a bonus. And he didn't play anything, so this works well for us. Works very well for us, actually. I really feel like I have no other option than to play him. You know, be nice to hold on to him when he has like something worth destroying, but eh. Speaking of that Bloodfin Raptor, I think... Ooh, we got an early Defender of Argus. I like that a lot, especially with what I'm about to do here. So we are going to kill that, or we're going to bring that down to a 1-2. I don't think I want to give him the initiative here, but that's a much weaker card, and I can use it later for a better play. So I'm going to be more aggressive towards him instead. It might be a mistake letting that thing stay alive, but for now, I would rather attack him. Ah, damn it! Yep, it was a mistake keeping that thing alive. Well, made him burn a coin and a multi-shot, so there's that. For whatever that's worth. Damn it! Okay. Still, that was a solid play from him. That got rid of 2 minions. That was a good multi-shot play, but that's why I wanted to bring that thing out. Is he gonna kill you, jerk? And now it stays alive. Houndmaster is a solid play. We could silence it, but then that brings it back to a 3-1, which doesn't help me any. So I think we True Silver Champion this. I don't know how else we take that out. Man, that sucks. Leaving that thing alive was completely a misplay on my part. Took a risk. Wasn't worth it. Damn. That's how you win, or that's how you learn, though. It was kind of a gimme whether or not he was going to have a way to buff it, but it being a beast, I should have known better, especially against a frickin' hunter. That's a good turn 5 play. I think, man, it trades up. Is my most irritating thing about this is it trades up with my Lord of the Arena. But I don't think we have a choice.
The gate sorrow for justice.
And we are absolutely killing that Houndmaster. I mean, yeah, we took 2 damage from it, but whatever. I feel like that's an okay thing right now. He could just actually kill command this, which would be really, really annoying. Because he does have a beast on the field. Emperor Cobra. Okay. Damn it! As if on cue. Well, this is bad. This is actually very, very bad. Oh, boy. I think what we do here is we humility that frickin' tiger, but then we can't play the Ravenhold. But I think that's okay, because I think we humility the tiger, make him a little bit of a weaker cat. Iron Beak the Cobra, make him less scary. I will lose the Iron Beak probably to the tiger, but I think that's okay. I think this is how we play this right now. I think we do that, and then do this, and then reinforce.
Reporting for
And none of my minions can attack, so even though I'd like to Blessing of Wisdom something, I could Blessing of Wisdom the tiger. Keep him around. He may silence the tiger, though. I don't think he'd silence his own tiger. He might. Is there something better I can use that with? Maybe. I think he's nuts if he doesn't attack with it, though. So I am going to throw it on there, because it has 5 HP, and suddenly he has to make a decision on whether or not it's worth to keep using that thing. And I like that idea. This is the part where I cry when he pulls an owl and just silences his own frickin' tiger and makes it a 5/5 again. Okay. Boar. So aggressive. Crap. Not good for me at all, by the way. This is very, very bad. He's got me very low in very short order, which is a recipe for disaster. Is exactly what this is right now. It is an absolute recipe for disaster. Come on, Miss Donata. I know you can make a decision. I know you're capable of it. Oh, don't make me start playing with the terrain. Then I just click a lot, and oh my gosh. Yeah, that trades well. And do you use your tiger? Do you give me a card? Or do you let me retain something on the field? Yeah? Nope, you're not going to give me a card. That's really funny. Okay. I think I can't do both. It'd be nice to have 9 mana right now because we could Tiger and Defender of Argus. Not that that would help because it has stealth and they wouldn't have to attack it, now that I think about it. So that actually would be a terrible play. But can he kill me next turn? That's 6, 7, 8, 9. He would only have to do 1 damage to kill me. And if I put up Taunt, it wouldn't be too much better because he could ram. Yeah. It'd be a little bit better, but not by much.
I wonder.
He could be sitting on an Arcane Shot. He could play any single charge minion. I don't think I have a choice here. I think I have to play it this way. Then I use this to kill that. And that leaves me with a taunt and 4 less damage on the field. But this is bad. This is not a solid situation. Oh, boy, that's a good card. Yup. And then you shoot me. And then you say, deal with my high main. That's an adequate response. That's not a bad time to have this. But I don't think it will save me. But it'll do something. And I don't want to attack his tiger. That tiger's doing nothing right now, and I love it. He may turn it into a Taunt of the Houndmaster and make it a little bit more intimidating. But for now, I'm just going to leave it, because he won't use it, because he'll give me cards. There's that taunt that I didn't want to see. Yep, and shoot me Or are you going to kill command me? Oh. This didn't go nearly so well. Another animal companion. Hooray! More time! Fantastic. Let's see. I have 8 health. I can take out 6 of it. And that's it. I cannot take out any more.
Well
GG.
played. The victory. Well played.
Well, you'll have that. With a draft like this, I don't expect to get too far, but getting that first one felt nice. We'll pick up next time. Thanks for joining in. I've been Corey, and I'm an Arena Junkie. Take care.